let's go back maybe 10 years. Did you ever think as an entrepreneur, you would be where you are at now?
I didn't think I'd be where I am now a year ago.
Why?
Well, I wrote some books. Well, go back a little bit. I almost died. And when that happened, I got a very strong desire to live every day like it was my last and prioritize time. So I wrote a book and did a few workshops. It went into children and youth and teens and things. And I just, I kind of worked in the homeschool market and working with just mostly, I kind of got stuck in the teenagers and stuff because I loved them so much. And so I had that brand new book coming out for college. And so I thought, well, I'll get on LinkedIn and connect to a few more schools and things. My daughter's in college now. I have time to go out and do more things. Well, guess what? I wrote an article, started writing a few posts, and this Mama Liz thing happened. Well, it just exploded. And then COVID came. And so I got I ran into a IT specialist who has designed software or technology to help virologists. And so I said, well, I can help you get the word out. And so I started doing that. And they were in lockdown in Italy. And we hadn't even had the first case in America. So I'm like, how can I keep America from doing what's going on there? And so he just said, go ahead and start doing the social distancing and things now. And so because I work a lot with children and teens, I wrote this little kids book. And then he decided he wanted to help. And then his daughter did some illustrations. And my daughter changed it into the superhero story. And it came together. We had 37 translators volunteer to change it to other languages. So suddenly I'm running a whole network of 37 translators all over the world overnight.
So what I'm hearing is that you did not anticipate being where you are at now, because we're going to get into exactly what you're doing. You'll have the last couple of minutes where it's only going to be on you. We'll be doing some back and forth because this is so great for our audience. And I want to be sure they're not missing some of these wonderful glimmers. So you didn't have it charted out, and yet you kind of evolved with that. Did you have a basic belief in yourself and your own confidence all along? Or you said that you had almost died, and this drew you to a different way to look at your life. Is that what drew you to what you're doing now as an entrepreneur?
I believe so, yes, I do. Because one of the things from that is you give every day, like it's everything you do with everything you are. And so when this opened up, I'm like, I'll do free books for the whole world. I didn't charge a thing for them. I just said, I'll just do it because it was the right thing to do. And it was needed at the moment. And so that's just the way that I do it was just, and so, yes, the near-death experience did influence that, because everything I do after that is like that.
And what I'm hearing is that you listen to your heart. And I respect that so much, because a lot of us are kind of like, well, yeah, but that doesn't make sense, or I'm too old, or I'm too this. And yet you maybe boosted on by this incredible experience, but yet you listen to your heart and you continue to, and you are enormously successful. And what a dream. You are just the perfect person for a lot of people to hear today, because this is hope. This is giving a lot of people hope.
It is. If you listen to your heart and don't listen to your head that says you can't do it. I mean, my website wouldn't even handle international traffic. We had to move the books over to one in Italy to be able to handle it. It came so fast and so hard. And I would look at it sometimes and I would be like, okay, I'm just going to get my head back up in the clouds and in my heart and forget listening to these. This is impossible words. The book happened in 5 days.
5 days for a book?
From the moment I thought about it, I contacted him. The 4 of us collaborated and wrote the book. His daughter illustrated the book. It was edited, formatted, and out in 5 days. I know. Possible, right?
It sounds like you are divinely led by your heart. I mean, that's what really comes through for me.
That's
And
it.
this is so inspiring. What are there like a, to prepare yourself? Yes, you've had things happen quickly, but are there things that you did to kind of prepare yourself too for all this? You mentioned that you have a divine connection, which I'm hearing and feeling. Are there anything else that you had to do? Because this is a lot. And how do you prepare yourself? Maybe there's personal changes, if any.
Well, I have a tremendous history in business and entrepreneurship, ministry, youth service, doing all these things. And each one were challenging in themselves. I think the key to me is I've kept a childlike heart. And children, they just believe they can do anything. And I have that crazy faith that I could just do anything as long as, if my heart feels to do it, I just go and do it. And I really believe that's honestly the key to it.
Isn't that beautiful? That we don't lose that childlike innocence. That's just so powerful to hear. And what do you think? What do you see how we're doing business, how entrepreneurs are going to be in the upcoming year? What would you recommend for us, or what do you see?
What I see, I work with a lot on LinkedIn, and I'm in the top person. I'm a top person ambassador and things. And what I see is everyone has changed with COVID. Their priorities have changed. How they approach business has changed. Like buzzwords now are not success, but kindness. And so reevaluate what you're doing and the why. And that's something that I always would tell an entrepreneur. Find your why. Because, it's nice to know you do this or you do that. But when you begin to sell what you're doing from the why that caused it, it's powerful. People pick up on your heart and they connect to your heart. And it's no longer about a business, but it's heart to heart. And it changes everything. So I would think that's what I would say. Find your why and reevaluate what your focus is about, because your audience has changed dramatically because of what's happened.
How do you know you have found your why?
Well, there's a little thing that I help people through. And I ask them what's important about their vision to them. And it'll come off, there'll be, well, I want to take care of my family, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. And I keep asking and keep asking and keep asking. Finally, something will come out like, I just want to make a difference, or I want to change the world, or I was depressed and I couldn't find anything on the web in one place that was positive, and I wanted to create a positive place where everyone can go and always have positivity. And then you ask the question, is there anything more important than that to you? And they'll just go, and they'll look around and they'll think of no, that's it. And when you find that place, that's it. That's your success trigger hidden down in your heart. And if you don't know that thing, you need to find it, because that's the place that your success is going to flow from.
Wow, that is the best explanation of a why I've ever heard. And that is so vital, because we hear a lot of terms thrown around. And sometimes I think there's an expectation. Of course, everybody knows the word why. And that's why I asked, because that is such a beautiful way to describe it. Because you are somebody who's definitely found their why. Do you have some favorite quotes or favorite inspirations you could share with us?
Well, my favorite person in the whole world was Zig Ziglar. I sat under his teaching live several times.
Wow.
I was a financial planner, very successful, rookie of the year, top 10% of the country most of the time and things, very successful. And I did the right things for my clients. And I always did more than above. I tell people I'm an above and beyonder, and that's just the way I do things. But I remember his first meeting, and he told us that you'll get everything you want out of life if you help other people get what they want out of life. And it was bingo. That's it. It was so freeing to know that I could put all my focus on other people and doing my very best to make their lives the best it could be. And then I'd be taken care of. And so that's my success quote that I live by. And it's a powerful thing. When you change, it's a whole change of mindset and heart, because suddenly you're not in business to meet goals. Though I meet goals, I set goals. I'm a time management guru. I set goals and I meet them. But my whole purpose is making a difference, is helping people, helping make them shine. And success just follows when you do that.
Wow. This is just so inspiring, because I know this is exactly what all the women that are listening to this need to hear today, including myself. Let me tell you, this is so great. What's the advice you give to a beginning entrepreneur? Somebody just starting, what would you tell them?
Be yourself, and don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't try to copy someone else, because there's no one in existence, or ever has been, that's just like you. It doesn't matter if you're doing the same identical job that someone else is doing. No one has your past, your passion, your perspective, your personality type, the pain you've been through, and all these things make you completely and totally you, completely different. And so know yourself, and don't worry what other people are doing, because there's nobody in competition with you, because there's nobody like you. So that would be what I would tell a young person, because the hardest thing for someone starting out is, oh, well, this person's successful, I'm going to go do what they do. Or this person's successful and I want to be like them, and I'm going to talk like them, and I'm going to, and what you're doing is you're saying what someone else is saying, because they probably already know what they are, rather than just being who you are. And everybody has greatness in them. I work with young people, and that's the main thing that I tell them. You have greatness inside you. And when you believe that, and you realize how special you are and what you have to bring to this world because of who you are, it frees them from all that, and they can just focus on being the best me I can be in what they do.
Wow. Will you share with us how you can help our audience, what you offer in your programs, please?
Well,
I know it's a lot. It's an awful lot. I know you are
quickly
very eclectic.
I am. I do many, many things. First of all, let me tell everybody, because it's important to me, because we are in COVID. If you have children, or just to share it with your neighbors, there are three different stories from COVID to superpower your children, to make them superheroes. You can go to covidops.info and get that, or go to lizfranklin.com. It's got everything. But there's one about not being, it helps empower them from being afraid, and it helps you too. There's one about turning it outward and being kind and taking care of people who are out there working in the environment. And the one that I'm just releasing today is about going back into the world, and how do you manage this new world, because it's different, and you can't go back the way you went in. The way you came into lockdown or online schooling or whatever is not the way it was. Children empowerment. I love to empower children, teens, college students, young professionals. My youngest children, there's the Time Doctor, which are picture books that teach success all the way down to like pre-reading stage. Then Time for Kids and Teens. I wrote these I was a homeschool teacher. And so I wrote curriculum for time management and success for these books go, one goes from like 4th grade to 8th, and then I do Time for High School. And now I have Time to Thrive and Taming the Time Monster for college, that I'm so excited because this has been compiled over maybe 5 years of new material added to what was there. And it's absolutely going to change the course of college students, because 30% fail the first semester. And the statistics inside, like some schools, is as high as 80%. And so change the way they're thinking and what they're doing in there. I do ministry, time ministry, and speak about prioritizing your time. And then I write on LinkedIn, and I'm Mama Liz there, and you can just look at hashtag Mama Liz, and every day I'm bringing content, real material, to help you, inspire, encourage you, because my goal is for you to be the best you can be. And everything that I can do to help that is what I do.
Isn't that marvelous? So do you also give like private programs? Like maybe there's a child that needs individual help from you. Is there of any?
I don't. I do workshops.
Workshops, yes.
Workshops, and it'll go to webinars. Now that we're more online, probably, and I'm all over the world. I have invitations waiting it's crazy. You know, I mean, I seriously worked in about 100-mile radius of my home. And now I have invitations to Africa, India. I've been everywhere already speaking, but they're all come to my country and talk to our kids, you know. So, and I've got all these programs I want to set up to help inspire them to be better. But I don't do one-on-one meetings, except when people ask sometimes, you know, their vision, they can't get their vision. They're like, Liz, please. And behind the scenes on LinkedIn, I'm doing it constantly every day with people. But to do it for a profession, I don't do one-on-one counseling, but workshops and seminars and things that bring people in and help them get all this on a different level. Because speaking to me live is a little bit different than just reading the material.
And it's so wonderful what you do. And I will put in a plug, because I do read your article every day on LinkedIn. And not only that, you change things, you can reach more people to me with what you're doing, and have the impact that I'm hearing that I just know without data that you're having. Because I would really encourage it. And we will put all your information, of course, so everybody can contact you and just get the delight that I get in reading and following you. And are there any, I know our time is getting a little bit shorter, but is there anything you would like to share before we sign off? Anything you'd like to share? Any parting words? Or
live every day like it's your last. Take the time to prioritize what matters to you. List your priorities, and then make sure you're putting time into those priorities in that order. Because life is short and you never know. I rolled over in the night and I was 28 years old in perfect health. And I'm only here because it just wasn't time yet, because the doctors told me that. They said there's no medical reason I should be alive. So you never know. So live every day like it's your last, and give it your all. And find that greatness inside you.
thank you, because I think with this interview, you will help tap a lot of our own inner greatness. Thank you for your time and for who you are and for what you do.
Thank you, Jody. Thank you for having me.